Well, welcome back, everyone. Yep, that is of course right. So, today is of course the first video of Jackoween, which is pretty much just my name combined with Halloween. So, of course, in this month, I will be strictly, or for the most part, reviewing horror horror related material. So, of course, today's review is, of course, Dark Pictures' House of Ashes. So, this is an interactive drama and it focuses on the Second Gulf War and a group of soldiers finding a ancient secret. This is part of an anthology. In fact, this is the second one of the series, as the first one was Man of Medan, which is a pretty good game. I really did enjoy this one, but this one is what really got me into the series. Well, the historical aspects also kind of helped too, because, well, the game starts off with you playing as a Acadian soldier, and it pretty much gets quickly realized that there's kind of something to serve as the game's threat, something that we'll see much later, but that was the game's prologue. It really builds up a sense of mystery and really leaves you speculating what was, whatever that was. And then, of course, we get to the main story. The game is set during the Second Iraq War. For those who don't know, there was, of course, two Gulf Wars. One in the 90s when Iraq invaded Kuwait, and one in the 2000s when the US led a coalition to invade Iraq and displace the then president Saddam Hussein from power. So Dark Pictures focuses on the Second War. This is, of course, after the events of 9/11, where the war on terror had begun, and distrust of, Muslims and Arabs was at a very unfortunate all-time high. And so, of course, that's definitely one thing that the game does do pretty well, is that it humanizes both the soldiers, you know, and, well, it humanizes both sides of the soldiers, because you have the American side who are, well, mainly just doing a job, or who, you know, generally believe what was going on at that time. But then you have the Iraqi soldiers who were trying to defend their home against the invasion, which is a really good point to remember, because not everyone who fought in these wars were, bad people. A lot of these people were just defending their homes, or, doing what they were told. And so it really does bring up some really interesting points. But obviously, skipping past all of this, it's a really good game. You know, the enemies of this game are, of course, a vampiric like race. These serve as the monsters, and, well, you get to kill a bunch of them. Now, of course, the game has multiple playable characters, you know, and you can make various decisions that can either lead to a character dying or living. Really depends for you. Personally, I think I had all but three characters survive. I don't exactly remember what happened, but I remember one fell, one got burned, and the other one became dinner. But of course, the different choices can affect the endings, and so the game encourages multiple playthroughs to see them all. And if this does sound familiar, well, games like Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls were also games that did this. Same thing with Life is Strange. And this is what really got me into this game, is that I really did enjoy those ones. Not to mention, there's also the historical context, as you get to see some ancient Akkadian statues, like the Lamassu, which I actually originally thought was Assyrian only to find out that it was also in other Mesopotamian societies, which is pretty cool. So overall, I really did enjoy the story. I don't want to give too much of it away, because, well, I feel like people should play this one. But also with the fact that I also got one ending. I didn't get all the endings, so I can't really say everything there is to know about this game. But of course, I do think this one is worth playing. Even if you only play this one, I still think it's a pretty good game. I'm looking forward to playing through uh, Little Hope and Devil in Me, and of course reviewing Man of Medan and those two as well. But as for my thoughts on this game, I really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend this one to people who are looking for something new to play. It's on Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch, I think, and PC, and is definitely worth checking out, especially if you really love horror games, and of course if you're a history nerd like I am. I give this the highest score I can give, a 10 out of 10. I didn't really have any issues with this one, and I personally do look forward to playing more of this one in the future. But of course, that's all I really have to say for this one. So of course, thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day. And like always, I will of course be back next time with more spooky videos. So thank you for watching.